Joining me now is Justin Thurman, running back, athlete out of Tampa Jesuit. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. Listen, I've followed Jesuit football for a very long time. I used to live right down the street from it. Always
Yes.
have a competitive team every year. In the last few years have been really, really good. The 2022 season was your first season at
Yes.
Jesuit. And I'm first off, I'm just before we get into recruiting or anything else, this is more personal, I'll admit that. What do you think of Jesuit in terms of like the embodiment of the brotherhood, being in a system that works, everybody playing for one, that kind of theme? I've been around that program enough to know that in every sport, pretty much, Jesuit plays to that. Could you explain that from your own perspective, what that's like?
So I would say the brotherhood part is definitely one of our main aspects. As basically kind of like one of our mottos. Playing together as a team. Encouraging each other, helping each other up. In hard times and through adversity, and just winning and um, losing as a team. I mean, as I have always said, there's no I in team. It takes everybody to win a game, and takes everybody to contribute to a team success. So, being having a good brotherhood, definitely like the one that we have at Jesuit, is very important to a strong bonded team.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, there's no way that you're going to win at a high level unless you're consistent. And football, to me, maybe I'm just biased because I like football, is the ultimate team sport. You can have a
Yes.
dominant quarterback, a dominant, free safety, whatever spot, best player on the field, but there's ways to attack players in situations to eliminate them. So
Yes.
that's why those things are important. And I mean, all you guys are pretty much too young to even vote, so you're all learning how to work together and just be young men. But that program has done a great job for a long time, and it's just ironic that the tradition of that continues. And I see them in baseball; they were that way. Everything that Jesuit does is very
Yes.
consistent. So I'm glad you spoke to that because I tried to explain that to some people that aren't from Tampa. And again, I lived there for several years, and it's like, and I'm still right down the road. It's very different than the vast majority, not all, but the vast majority of programs.
Yes.
Kids that really care about going to class, kids that care about going to weightlifting and being on time. All the little details, a lot of Florida high school kids, they don't fit that profile. A Jesuit would not be for everybody, if you will. And I think it's one of the reasons that they sometimes beat teams that might even have more physical talent than them. So next up, kind of sticking with it, you've got 2 years of high school left because your class of 25. You've played
Yes.
running back, you've played some corner, you could play slot, you're a track kid, you're really fast. What do you want to work on, Jesuit or not? Like, what do you need to work on to get better, to take that next step? You've got a bunch of offers because your potential is vast. But what do you need to work on to really be that guy that everybody in the country recruits?
I would say mainly just to continue to fine tune the skills that I have, and always just the grind doesn't stop, and always just keep working, and always find what ways to improve, because there's no I would say there's no time to stop working, and there's no time to just settle and just say, oh, I believe I'm the best I could be. I'm always just grinding and just finding ways to improve my skill set, and always just grind.
If you have that attitude, it will apply to anything, brother. That's the best players that I've been around, scouted, etc., were that way. Randy Moss was cut a little bit differently how he worked. Obviously, a different kind of athlete anyway, but when you put the two together,
Yes.
that's how you get the ultimate success. So, long term, if you could pick and you only got one choice, what position would you prefer to play on the football field?
Running back, just straight up. I mean, running back. I've been playing running back since I would say second grade, when I started
Oh,
flag
wow.
football, and then
Oh, flag.
fifth grade, yeah, fifth grade when I started playing tackle football for my junior high program, basically. And I just always have found, just I don't know, it's just something about running the ball, being able to run over people too. um, and just showcase my speed through just running the ball, and just it's just something that's fun about it. I don't really know how to explain it.
Oh, there sounds like to me you enjoy it. The facial expression that you said when you said run over people, that was like you just received an extra Christmas present. So that's who knew? So usually track kids don't think of themselves as downhill between the tackles kind of guys, but again, just to cue people in that may not be familiar, Jesuit is a downhill offense.
Yes.
It's I mean they run bubble screens and throw bombs and all that too, but it's predicated first and foremost on being more physical than their opponent. That's again been
Yes.
the case for many years. If it's successful, you're not going to change that. Why do you like the contact of running back so much? Is it that, I mean, were you always a kid that was just a physical kid, or is it just something about football in particular that you like?
I would say both. I mean, I believe that I'm a physical kid. I mean, just being able to just, I would say, not plow through people, just run over people. Just, I mean, I was just say, well, actually, I've been characterized to run like an angry man. So,
That's a good trait.
yes, thank you. So, I mean, I just do it on the field. I mean, I don't really like run angry. I just the way I run, but I just like showcasing what I can do. It's just, I mean, that's part of it, and just being able to get yardage after contact, and just being able to you know stay on my feet and just keep running no matter what hits me, or whatever I hit.
Well, that's pretty straightforward, brother. You got to run over guys sometimes. You can only run around them so often. There's 11
Yes,
defenders on the field. That's why physicality matters, and especially those situations where the defense does its job.
yes.
Sometimes the most you're going to get is 3 yards, and that's if you're
I
really
mean,
put in the effort.
you're moving a chains with 3 yards. So, I mean, I've always been told and told myself not every time I touch the ball is going to be a touchdown, but if I can move the chains 2 to 3 yards, or even 3 to 4 yards per carry, then it'll be a first down. So, and then we can move the chains and then eventually get a touchdown.
That is the old adage. So there's no question about that. You have played other skill spots. How much do you think that helps you not only just athletically showing your gifts, but to learn the game of football, whether it's being a gunner on special teams, a corner, a slot receiver? Talk a little bit about playing multiple spots.
Well, so for defense, being able to play DB has definitely improved my football IQ. Being able to how to basically read defenses, how to see what zone or coverage that they're playing in, whether the corner is playing up all the way or playing this down. It's just, being able to, I mean, from an offensive perspective, it definitely helps being able to see what the defense is doing before they may even be doing it. So being able, and also to for kickoff return, it's been good to just showcase my speed. It didn't showcase how I can change the game, because, as they say, special teams can be one of the game changers that could define whether you lose a game or whether you win a game. So it's definitely been an aspect of my game to showcase how I can help contribute to the team and help put my team in the best position. And then for things like gunner, being able just to showcase my physicality if the returner catches the ball, just being able to get him on the ground, tackle him before he's able to get any yardage, getting anywhere, just showcasing my physicality and showcasing my ability to tackle.
There's nothing wrong with that. You got to win on special teams too, because like you said, especially in close games, if you don't do well with special teams, that's usually where something really goes wrong when you put your offense in a bad spot. So, or your
Yes.
defense too. So, recruiting wise, you've got some visits coming up. I'm guessing. Could you give everybody just like a generic backdrop, like any camps, any unofficial visits, or anything this summer before you go into fall camp?
So I've taken visits to University of Kansas late May. I took a camp slash visit to the University of Tennessee in early June. I also took a day to go up to camp at the University of Florida. I just came back from this weekend from the Auburn, so that
Okay,
was
so you've
good.
been everywhere.
Yes, and then as I think I previously said before, I'll be heading up to Notre Dame this week for a camp and a visit. I'll be heading up this weekend to Iowa for a visit, and then I'll be finishing out the month of June with a camp at the University of Alabama.
You have put in the miles. You need to thank your family for helping you get to point
Yes.
A to point B, because goodness gracious, that is a lot of travel time. So you're probably one of the more well-traveled men in America, I would
Yes.
imagine. So
It's been ramping up. I mean, back in the spring, we also, I visited Rutgers too, and then I visited Florida before then as well, and Tennessee. So I was able to go up to those places as well a couple of times. So yeah, it's definitely been I'm very thankful for them giving their time out of the day and their weeks and weekends to take me up to these places so I can just, well, first of all, showcase what I can do to the coaches, but also to get to know them and learn more about each program and just see how it would be an overall fit for me. So I'm very grateful for my parents just being able to take me play all these places so I can just learn more about them.
that's what it's all about, brother. You got 2 years of high school left as a 2025 prospect, so you're ahead of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. So, well, Justin, thank you very much. Stick with me here just a second after I close up. But for you people out there listening, please like this podcast. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Share it. And most importantly, comment. Let me know what you think about Justin and his game. It's not very hard to find any huddle film of anybody anymore, or anything else you want to talk about with Jesuit or anything else. Please do so. Everybody have a great night. All right, man.